No Impact this week, but that doesn't mean we don't have any TNA news to talk about. TNA has announced that tickets will go on sale this Friday, December 5th, for 3 consecutive TV tapings, January 7th, 8th, and 9th. They are returning to the Manhattan Center in New York City for the first Destination America tapings. We're still not sure if Impact is going to still be airing on Wednesdays on Destination America. I would have to think it will be, but there's still been no confirmation of that. I assume that if they are sticking to Wednesdays, maybe that first Impact taping that Wednesday, the 7th, might air live. Actually, it'd probably be on like an hour or two tape delay. But we'll find out. But they are returning to New York City. They are returning to the Manhattan Center. And you can get tickets starting on Friday on Ticketmaster.com. I am planning on attending. I'm hoping to. So that is the plan. The other big news that has been floated, and I think this rumor, actually it was a report originally, I think in the Wrestling Observer that's been picked up elsewhere, is that when Impact returns to TV on Destination America next month, or in January, I should say, that Josh Matthews will be the new play-by-play guy for Impact. He'll be the new voice of Impact with Taz, and Mike Tenay is out as the lead announcer. He is reportedly not leaving TNA. He may still have an on-air role with TNA in some way. I don't know if that means backstage interviewer. There's been a lot of talk that with the new TV deal, they're going to have more than just one television show, so maybe he would host a second program. I don't know. But it sounds like he's not going anywhere. If that's the case, it would seem to take his name out of the running for Jim Ross's broadcast partner for the January 4th Tokyo Dome New Japan show that's going to be airing on pay-per-view. Supposedly, he was a recommendation from JR. He was the first choice, but if he's under TNA contract, they can't use him. So that would seem, anyway, to take his name out of the running. But I like the move, and I don't like the move because, Josh Matthews is such a great play-by-play wrestling announcer. I've heard him do play-by-play before. He was doing some of the secondary shows for WWE. He even filled in on Raw on occasion when they would do an angle. If Jerry Lawler got beat up or something, they would trot out Josh Matthews. There's the famous episode of Raw. I want to say it was one of the draft shows, and he was one of the multiple commentary teams that were out there, maybe the ECW one. And unfortunately, he suffered a nosebleed on the air. I think a lot of people remember that. He's good. I think Matthews is good. He's got the youth that they seem to like. I think in wrestling, it's always about youth more than anything else. To me, Mike Tenay was just completely played out. He had been the play-by-play guy for TNA, the face of TNA since day one. A lot of guys have come and gone. Don West came and went. They had Todd Kennelly, that play-by-play guy they brought in a few years ago when Hogan and Bischoff were running things, and I actually thought Todd Kennelly was pretty good. I liked him. I don't know why they got rid of him other than just budget cuts. But they needed to replace Mike Tenay. And it's not a knock on Tenay like he's a bad commentator. There's nothing special. There's nothing exciting. He's been there forever. I think Tenay was at his best when he was the third wheel on Nitro and they would bring him in because Bobby Heenan and Tony Schiavone didn't know the names of any of the lucha moves. And he knew all the names of the moves, and he would give great background on these guys that came up from Mexico. That was when he was the best at what he did. And in TNA, he's just been there for so long, and I think part of it is the stain of TNA. He's part of an era in TNA that just, there's no buzz, there's nothing exciting about it, so you had to get some new blood in there. And so Matthews is the guy they went with, and I like the move. I think it's a positive move, and quite frankly, I think it's overdue. I think they should have made this move either with Matthews or somebody else a long time ago. And again, that's not a personal slight on Mike Tenay, but for God's sakes, get some new blood in there.